Hi everyone, again with Coach Sami Al Jamal in Jiu Jitsu Lessons. Hi Coach, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Ammar?
Fine, guide. Fine, Coach. I'm excited for that interview. Always when I interview you or we have some kind of conversation, we're gonna take out from the experience that you have from this big and the successful journey from your side.
Habibi, thank you so much. I think it's very nice for us to, since of the lockdowns and the corona, for us to learn jujitsu and get some experience and learn maybe one of the ways of how to deal with jujitsu students and the school and the business itself. I think it's very important for people to take the opportunity to sharpen their skills and learn more about how to run a business or how to run a jiu-jitsu school, how to have students, because eventually uh, when you get the black belt, at one point you might be an instructor or you might live out of jiu-jitsu. So it's important to know how to deal with it and try to make the least amount of mistakes as possible.
That's awesome, Coach. Our episode today is about the philosophy out of the belt promotions for kids and adults. I'm sure that in your journey face a lot of complaints, let's say it, or sometimes suggestions from students, and sometimes uh, some fighters get mad or why I'm not getting the belts while I'm winning. We want to understand that philosophy from your side and have this nice conversation between us, just to educate, as you said, the guys behind all those guys behind the jiu-jitsu. What's the philosophy? Why sometimes the student he can't understand the coach point of view from the belt promotions and how to deal with the kids and the adults.
That's a very good point.
So let's
That's a
start,
very
coach.
good point.
Let's start with the kids, with the kids belt promotion. And I think the new system that jiu-jitsu have is very nice, and it's very motivated for the kids. While we have two belts in white and white black, gray, they have like three belts in gray. So I think these things can motivate the kids. uh, as a kids, you need to have always a stripe, you need to have a belt. It's but as a gray, it's a gray. So when they're gonna fight, they will fight in a gray category. While for him, I'm not gray anymore. I'm a gray and black.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And let me explain to you a little bit of the history of Jiu-Jitsu for us to understand how we arrived at this point of Jiu-Jitsu. So Jiu-Jitsu when it was martial arts that was for war or for something that your life depended on it. Basically, they just had a belt around them, and as the belt became old or dirty, the teacher would give them the black belt. So there wasn't easy. Yani, it might take you 10 years, it might take you a lifetime, it might take you 5, 6 years. So the IBJJF came up with the belt system, okay? And it's important to know that our Grandmaster Osvaldo Alves was part of the board that decided the belt system and how long they would take. And then they came up with the belt system for the kids. As the sport exploded in the world, what happened was they realized that a kid does karate and he gets the black belt in 3 years, or a kid does taekwondo and he gets a black belt in 2 years. A kid in jiu-jitsu might take 1 year to get the yellow belt,
Yeah.
which the color already says it's yellow against black. So a kid would come into him, well, I got my black belt in taekwondo or I got my belt in karate, and the jiu-jitsu kid, well, but I have my yellow belt. So as because at the end of the day, it's business, and the client is the student. The IBJJF noticed and realized that people were not excited, and a lot of kids would quit jujitsu before they understood jujitsu. They were there for a reason. By the time that they understood jiu-jitsu, they already had quit, so they would not understand. So what happened was that IBJJF came up with a belt system and a stripe system. And they left it open for all the schools in the world to kind of go through that guideline. And from that guideline, they would kind of each school choose how many stripes they would give before a belt changes or not. So the kids get excited and they get promoted basically every month. Okay, but each kid, for people that might not know, each kid has 3 belts in their belt. So they have, let's say the first belt is gray, white gray, gray, and black gray. Okay, and between those belts they have stripes, and the same thing happens with the yellow, the orange, and the green. Okay, and for people that don't know, if you get the green belt, okay, you can automatically, if you turn into an adult, go to the purple belt. You can jump a belt without having to put the blue belt, and you can also go straight to the blue belt in some cases if you have the orange belt. So the belt system for the kids, it's a very fun system, but also a very difficult system to maintain it right, because the kids, they measure everything, each stripe. So it's important for the coach to be sure to make it right, and whatever system that he puts into his gym, for him to be able to be fair to everybody and every kid in the gym, because this is for them to be excited about jiu-jitsu. You cannot use it against them, which is very important.
Yeah, and also sometimes the funny things, coach, if like sometimes the kids, they forget their belts, and if they are gray and black, they refuse to have a gray, like a spare belt from the gym. It's a gray or gray and white. They will not wear it. They said, no, no, no. I'm gray and black. I cannot wear this. For them, it's like something. It's like a black belt for them.
Mm-hmm. To them, it's like their whole life in jiu-jitsu is explained on that belt. No way they're gonna go down, and the kids might think that he went down a belt. No way.
And the things also, the funny things in the kids, I think we, us as a coaches, allow them. Sometimes the kids, they said, coach, when is the belt ceremony? If I win the tournament, I'm gonna get like a yellow belt if he's a gray and black. But I think as a coaches, we allow this for the kids more than we allow it for the adults. What your point of view about this this topic?
It's a very good question, man. And the belt system for the kids is something for them to be excited about, and something for them to understand how the system has a hierarchy. And when they stay in line, each person that has the highest belt and the highest stripes stays in front of the other, to show that they earn their position in the line and in the class. Okay. A lot of times, each school has their own system of giving the stripes and the belts. I'm not going to be 100% strict. For example, that a kid missed the class and he's going to miss the stripe. No, I'm going to find a way for that kid to get that stripe, because I want that kid to be motivated. But exactly, he has to earn it. He cannot be, like, for example, pampered into getting the stripe. He has to earn it. Even if he didn't reach that point, he got 90% of it or 80% of it. Me as a coach, I know how hard that kid worked, and he's going to get that stripe, or he's going to get that belt.
Exactly. And also in the kids system, the coach point is not comparing that kid, he is like an adult or he is a fighter. What we want as a coaches or as a gym owners, to motivate those guys who will sometimes, as you said, will take it easy with that kids, will not be strict. And also this is a message from my side, and also a message next from your side for the parents. Sometimes the parents, they want a lot from their kids in the tournaments. Like if he's 10 or 9 or something, they want them always to get gold and if they are not getting goal, they go harsh on them. So as a coaches and as a jiu-jitsu coaches mentality, a message from my side to the families and also to the other coaches: take it easy on their kids. What do you want is to for those kids to be busy, to be doing a sport, so that he will be in a sport mentality, and the benefits you're gonna get it from your kid when he's an adult. That's the things I think we start as a coaches measure. I don't care if he is 12 years old and he lost. I will give him the belt if he deserves the belt in the term of uh, techniques and discipline and tendency. But as a coach or as a father point of view, I want this kid to be trained and to keep training until when he reach an adult. Then you can see the fruits or the result from that training in as an adult. So it doesn't mean when you are a black belt now. You will not say I'm a world champion when I was 12 years old.
Yeah,
Right or wrong, coach?
absolutely. هلا يعني there's two important messages there, one for the parents and one for the kids. Okay, since most people that watch this show here are adults, I want to emphasize the adults point of view. So it's proven that if you push a kid too hard between the ages of 4 to 10, by the time that he becomes a teenager, 13, 14, he will be burned out of the sport and he will quit the sport. So basically for the parents or for everybody that put their kids there, the money that you invested on that kid's life in jiu-jitsu, if you push him too hard, it's going to burn him. And in reality, we have to understand as parents that first, that's a bad investment. Second, it's not about you, it's about the kid. So winning or losing in a tournament, or him doing the best that he can in jiu-jitsu, even if he loses. I have some parents here in my school, they're amazing. I have kids that lose every single fight and they still believe in the process and they still keep their kids in the process. And I have a very good case, and I always put this kid as this kid lost everything until orange belt, every single fight, never won a fight. And his parents trusted and believed the process. Now this kid at orange belt is a phenom. Wow. He wins everything in jiu-jitsu and wrestling. He also wrestles in the national team here. He wins in jiu-jitsu and wrestling because the parents, they believed in the process. So what you have to do is your responsibility is support, and support only. Support on the good times and support on the bad times. The pressure that you put on the coach and the pressure that you put on the kid is going to backfire at you and you only. Because the kid is going to forget, is going to quit, and he's going to forget jiu-jitsu by the time he's 18. And for you, you lost all that time that you spent of yourself taking the kid to the school and bringing him back, and you're going to lose also the investment, financial investment that you put in it. Basically, it's like you invested in something and the return is going to be very little. So this is important for coaches that are watching this show to understand this process, and when they speak to the parents, to tell them to believe in the process, to support the kid, to support the coach, to give the coach the green light to guide the kid through the process of getting the belts and being happy. So from white to end of yellow, this is the time that you use to get the kid to be happy and love jiu-jitsu. Okay? Usually, from my experience, you start really pushing the kid as an athlete once he becomes orange, and once he becomes green belt, he's a black belt of the kids. So you can push them hard,
Yeah.
So you have to separate. First, you're selling the idea for him to like the jiu-jitsu. So what you want to do, you want the kid to love you as a coach, to trust you, because there is no trust without love. And then after that, you want to use all that energy for the kid that now understands jiu-jitsu to become better at jiu-jitsu.
Well said, coach. And also the other point I love to share is also when we, as a coaches, we are not building for the kids, especially we are not building a fighters only. We are building a human. We are building the leaders for the new generations. Is either if it's a boy or a girl. We are building the confidence. We are building the new man. A lot of cases they came back, as you said, coaches they lost, but with the support from the coach, and the most important thing also the support from the family. Those guys they face their fear because as a kids to put him a fight in and with other kids if he hasn't that strong personality for sure he's gonna lose. It happens with me when I was a kid. I was scary. I was like shy person. I don't like to go to fight with anyone. But with the things that the coaches they put on me in a martial art, it will build my personality so that we are as a coaches we are not building a fighters only. We are building your son or your daughter as an adults in the future to face their fear not in the mats in the normal life in the school the bullying that they have even even the socializing for the kids they are playing jiu-jitsu. It's easy for them to go and talk with adults as an adults coach. I saw a lot of kids when they talk to me outside the mat, outside the gym, or talk to others. They have the confidence to look at your eyes and talk to you as an adult without having that fear that you are an adult and he is a kid and he doesn't have this transportation to deliver the information that he wants.
Yeah, absolutely. Hala, for example, people have to understand that jiu-jitsu is a tool of education, okay? And it's a tool of education that fits a huge gap in society that people don't see. Meaning that jiu-jitsu is the connection between the education of the home with the education of the school. We as coaches with jiu-jitsu, we use that martial arts as a tool to connect the education of the home and to with the education of the school. Because in the school, the kid is going to learn how to study and how to be proper in a group environment. In the home, he's going to be educated by the parent through the point of view of the parents, the best they can for life, okay? But the real life situations and the real life challenges, it has to be taught by somebody through a sport. And there's no better sport than martial arts to teach those kids. So jiu-jitsu is an educational tool that is going to prepare the kid for anything in life, because when he puts himself on the line in a tournament and he knows that he's going to go to that tournament and there's another kid there that is going to try to choke him or get him in an armbar, and he has to defend himself and maybe win 1, 2, 3, or 4 fights, that's an experience of a lifetime. You know, my first tournament when I was 12 years old and I fought in the karate state champion in Brazil, and I won the state championship in karate. Until today, I don't forget one single aspect of that tournament. You know what I mean? So, as as jiu-jitsu fighters and as jiu-jitsu coaches, we're teaching the values of life through jiu-jitsu. You know, and that's priceless. So it's important for us as coaches to earn the respect of the parents and to earn the trust of the parents to be able to teach those kids life. And then when you sit with those kids, even though they're a very young age, they mature very fast. Exactly. Because they're thrown into experiences that are very complex for anybody. Even as an adult, it's very complex for you to fight in a tournament and be able to come even as a champion. So it's they mature very fast, but in a healthy way, because they're prepared for life. They're prepared for bullying. They're prepared for knowing what they want and when they want, because they've been through these difficult challenges and through these difficult experiences by themselves. It's not a team sport. It's a sport where the kid is by himself on the mats, showing what he has against another kid that wants the same thing.
Well said, coach. And also, I always like before the tournaments and sometimes also after the kids' tournaments, and like we have it in-house tournaments, I always tell the parents, take it easy in their kids. Putting a gi and entering the mats alone, I challenge most of the parents. I told them this in their eyes for all the parents. I challenge everyone here to come and put a kimono now and enter to fight. What the kids they're doing is not easy. So what they want from you is a hug and a very always, coach. In my short experience comparing to the things when I turn a kid's coach, it's comparing to you. I'm still a white belt. Always I tell the parents this word, proud. Always you have to tell your kids, I'm proud of you. And the parents, like always I tell the kids, if he's weak, if he's strong, I'm proud of you. I give him a hug. And that proud word, the parents, like I have some friends now, they are putting their kids in my academy. They told me, Ammar, when I talk to my kid, he wants me to say, I'm proud of you. He was, Dad, you're proud of me. So that always, because a kid is looking to his father or a coach as an idol figure, always a kid's a father or a coach, we have to feed them with this message, feed them emotionally. I'm proud of you. What you're doing is good. And don't talk to the kids while you're standing. Go to his level, look him in his eyes, tell him you did a good job. You did what you have to do. I'm proud of you. Next time you're gonna do it.
Yeah, that's a very good point. It goes back to the support and the love. Your function as a parent is to support and love the kid through this journey, and try not to take your frustrations of not being an athlete onto him, or feel like he's less than anybody else. Any kid that puts the gi and constantly goes to the jiu-jitsu class and still goes and competes, is a kid that you should be proud of. And on top of that, imagine the kid, and I talk about, sometimes we talk about the kids that compete. What about the kid that he knows that he's going to lose? The kids are smart. He knows that he's going to lose, and he still goes to the tournament, and and then he loses, and he's happy and he's okay with that. And to me, this kid is more important than the kid that went there and knew that he was going to win. The kid that he faced his fears and he went there and he did the best he could and he lost. And to me, that's a life lesson of jiu-jitsu that is uncomparable to anything else in life.
Yeah, because jiu-jitsu and you, coach, you're gonna change the life for this kid. He will not lose forever. No one win forever and no one will lose forever. He will build the confidence on him by himself. He will teach himself as a teacher. Okay, I'm good in the academy. I learned from this. My coach is proud of me. My dad is proud of me. So one day he will face that fear inside. He will have this fight between himself, and he will enter tournament. That for sure.
Yes. Those experiences, they're life experiences. The things that you learn on that tournament are gonna be stamped into your brain for the rest of your life, consciously or unconsciously. You might understand it from the point of view that you remember it consciously, or it's going to affect you unconsciously. And most of the times, if the parents tell them that they're proud of them and the coach tells them they're proud of them, it's going to affect them positively. But if you push the kid too hard, it's going to affect them negatively. And I always say now, I think one of the things I think is important is for us coaches to coach the parents how to be at least coaches, basic coaches. A lot of parents have the knowledge, but a lot of parents also don't have the knowledge on how to guide their kids through a martial arts like jiu-jitsu.
Well said, coach. And also I have another point. And like as a coach, always I teach myself from the kids. Now I'm as a coach, and I'm every kids, all the kids, they are looking at me as an idol, or they watch what I'm doing, so that I have to take care of my words, I have to take care of my movement, I have to take care of the things I'm putting in the social media, because these days all the kids, they have accounts in Instagram, Facebook, so that it will be like a self teacher for me as a coach to take care. uh, I don't have to say bad words in the mat or outside the mat. I have to catch myself, to catch my temper. If I'm angry, I don't want to look bad in front of the students, especially the kids, because they're gonna say what I'm gonna say. I learned this from coach, that I don't know, it's a habit from me since I was a blue belt, to wear in the I know it's not allowed in the competition, but in the classes, to wear a two colors kimono.
Mm-hmm.
uh, I swear to God, coach, I don't know this until I opened the gym, and there is a guy in my academy, you know him, is Marwan Alayan. I think you know him. He trained with you, that guy, that kid.
Amazing kid.
That kid, the coach taught me a lot of lessons. Once he came to the gym, he's wearing a two colors kimono. So I was looking at him, kids wearing two colors kimono. That's weird. So then I told him, why you're wearing this kimono? He didn't answer. He's a shy, and he's not a shy. He respects me too much. But that's putting weights on my shoulder. Then, because I know his family, I asked his mom, why he's wearing a two colors kimono? He said, because of you. Then I look at myself, and I have a flashback uh, in my mind that I saw the picture. Since I was a blue belt, I like to wear a two colors kimono. But that's naturally, and it didn't came to my mind, coach. It didn't touch
Yeah.
my mind until this kid wearing the same, I think. So that it will be now a very big responsibility to me as a coach. And this is a message for all the coaches. You have to take care of the things you're doing in front of the kids, because they're gonna duplicate you. They're gonna do whatever you want. As always they said, don't teach by wording, teach by attitude.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a small note on Mirwan. In 2 years, you can give him the key of the gym. He's going to manage the gym for you.
I swear to God, yeah, God bless him, coach.
Yeah, he's a good kid, man. Mirwan, hi for you now. We miss you here in Jordan. Inshallah, نشوفك soon. There is a very fine line, and it's funny because I was talking to a black belt today. We're talking about exactly about this. You can train jiu-jitsu to get a black belt, and that's fine, and you can do anything you want in your life, and it's your responsibility and your responsibility alone. The moment that you decide to be a teacher, you have to write a very thin line between what your life is and what you want your life to be. So what your life is that you are an example and a role model for all your students in everything, and from the way you dress all the way from the way you live your life. So if one person decides to be a coach and he's not there to teach the moves or to make the person good in jiu-jitsu, that's a very small percentage of, in reality, what is to be a coach. What is to be a coach, for you to be a role model, and for you to understand that every action that you have or you do, there's going to be a reaction, or at least somebody looking at it and interpreting the way they want. So it's very important for you to be a role model in every way possible. You decide to be a coach, you decide to be a black belt that is going to teach, it's going to share your knowledge. You're not sharing the knowledge only of jiu-jitsu and the moves. You're sharing all the knowledge and your experience in life. And you have to have the responsibility to understand that, and to understand that this was given to you, this power was given to you, not only by jiu-jitsu, but is a power of God. And you have to, because if you're there to teach and have people learn an art and learn how to have values of life. This was given to you by God. It's a power that was given to you that's much higher than you, and you have to understand it, respect it, and give it back in double. And unfortunately, the young coaches nowadays and the young black belts, that they think they're the powerful people because of the weapon of jiu-jitsu, they don't understand that, and sometimes they're not the role models of their students, or they are in the wrong way.
Well said, coach. To be honest, I think we cover the kids as much as we can from the coach point of view, kids point of view, and also the family. The last message I want to say for all the parents: take it easy on your kids. What they are doing is much harder than what you expect. And I can challenge everyone. It's not easy for a kid to wear a kimono and to go to fight while he has a full day in school. Then he go to the tournaments. What they're doing is much more than what you expect. As I said, I want you to say to always hug them, say always be proud of them, and don't put in your mind as a coaches or a jiu-jitsu academies, we are not teaching a jiu-jitsu lessons. We are teaching, as Coach Sami said, a life lesson for your kids. This is the kid. This is your wealth. This is your investment in the future. We as a coaches have an impact in his future life, as this is a gift from God and from jiu-jitsu.
Absolutely. For me, this message is for the coaches and for the higher belts. Don't worry too much about the kid that has the skills and that's going to be good. That kid's going to be good naturally. Worry about the kid that's on the corner of the class. Worry about the kid that is shy and is not able to show himself on the mats. Worry about the kid that lost the fight and went on the corner quiet or crying. Those are the people that you have to take care of, because once you take care of those kids, you're going to create a base that's so strong for your team and for yourself. The reward for you as a coach is going to be much higher. All the other kids that are talented and they're good, they'll find a way to become even better. Your mission is to take care of the weak ones and to take care of the people that need most of your help. And for the parents, if you think it's hard on you, imagine the kid that's there on the mats fighting. You have to support them.
Well said, Coach.